right, studio time check says it's 35 minutes past 6 a.m. It's the 16th day in February of 2026, and we welcome you to a wonderful Monday morning. It's the first official day of the week, the first official working day of the week, and we welcome you to another wonderful Monday right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Thank you so much for riding with us. Thank you for staying with us and for being with us. The program is Perspectives Unlimited, where we take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. I'm Bolanle Udueku Ayola. I'll be your host this morning, and we'll be taking a look at the headlines and the stories that are making the rounds across the dailies this morning. I'd like you to follow us on Facebook. We're currently live on our Facebook fan page at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. I'll take that again, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. We're live at the moment, and I'd like you to be a part of that. Go on Facebook, and of course, don't forget to, like our page and share, and also drop your comments. You can also follow us on all our other social media platforms. We're on Instagram, X, and TikTok at Wells Radio 893. You can listen directly via our website, www.wellsradio893.com. Good morning once again, and welcome to a bright and beautiful day. We're taking a look at the headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. I have the Punch newspaper, the Guardian newspaper, the Vanguard newspaper, and the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning, and we'll be taking a look at these headlines and trying to make some sense out of it. Of course, that is with the help of our analyst in the studio this morning. Let's start by taking a look at what the dailies say this morning. And on the front page of the Punch newspaper, the lead headline says, National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February 3rd. National Assembly moves to shift presidential poll to February 13. And the writer says, Senate House recall lawmakers from recess again to review 2026 electoral bill again on Tuesday. Presidential poll to hold earlier over Ramadan overlap. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Ex-INEC chiefs demand real-time results transmission as NAS panel meets. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. More headlines. Shetima leads federal government delegation to Kano after devastating market fire. You find that story on page 20 of the Punch newspaper. Tinubu's Adedamola visit reignites Fintiri's defection rumors. That's on page 8. Insecurity, lawmakers split over Ndume's support for U.S. troops deployment. You find that story on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And we say this, Kwankwaso returns from India trip amidst U.S. sanctions threat. That's on page 8 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the lead headline says NLC demands new power sector roadmap, calls for national stakeholders summit, says 10 years after privatization, Nigeria still in darkness, queries federal government's plan to pay 3 trillion naira to Gencos, reiterates its condemnation for a banned dichotomy, insists electricity is not a luxury for the rich. That's on page 2 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigeria Tax Act 2025 does not impose 25% tax on building materials. Oloyede debunks Amechi's claim. That story is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. More headlines. Alleged imported toxic chemicals. Ribadu replies El Rufai. That's on page 3. More headlines. Economists lock horns over utility of money as INEC proposes 873.78 billion naira election budget. That's on page 12. Proviso to real-time e-transmission of polling units results, why majority of legislators may not return in 2027, says Guinea. That's on page 24. More headlines. PDP, Labour Party missing as INEC releases Osun governorship candidates' details. PDP lawmakers adopt Accord Party, endorse Adeleke. That story is on page 22 this morning. And these are some of the headlines on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the front page of the Guardian newspaper, port users pay more as NCS recreates multiple FX regime, adds 7% margin. That's the reason on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. There's a breakdown of it right here. More headlines. Afenifere raises alarm over persistent terror attacks, abduction. That's on page 7. More headlines. AU Summit, Nigeria backs reforms, regional security measures. You find that on page 5. More headlines. Mixed reactions. Trail reported U.S. troops arrival amidst fresh attacks. That's on page 6. More headlines. Data shows 10-year capital funding gap in health sector. You find that on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. More headlines on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. The lead headline, of course, just like the other daily, says Electoral Act harmonization, reps under pressure to abandon compulsory e-transmission of results. Empirical data guided our decision, says Senate, insists real-time electronic transmission of electronic results not practicable now. That's the reason on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. It also says why most NAS members may lose seats in 2027. That's from beginning. More headlines. 2027, Obi formally declares for ADC, vows to defy ballot rigging. That's on page 15 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Federal government spends 26 billion naira on moribund Ajaokuta Steel Company. That's on page 21. Daily petrol imports declined by 42.2% to 24.8 million liters. That's on page 22 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And there's also this that says we communicate movement of terrorists to security agencies, but the rather says terrorists can be defeated if, discusses massive infrastructure achievements, reviews how state IGR moved from 90 million naira to over 5 billion naira in 13 months. That story is on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. These and many more we'll take a look at as much as our time affords us this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. So I urge you to stay with us, don't go anywhere. Just stay with us and be a part of the conversation. At this point, I'd like to bring in our analyst, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachiso, and we'll be taking a look at these headlines together. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Bola.
How do you do?
I'm doing well by the special grace of God.
Definitely by the grace of God. It's a new week. How are we going about this new week?
Well, there is no other way to go about it than to be at our duty post, informing, educating, and enlightening Nigerians, letting them know what is going on around them, which is, somebody asked me a question sometime, why are you people always talking? I said, well, our talking is part of nation building. We have to talk because if you keep silent, they may even carry you. If you enter motor and you didn't tell the driver to stop you in front of your house, they may even carry you beyond your house. So we have to keep talking and keep on saying the truth, because the good book said, if you know the truth will set you free. So we must let the people know the truth, then let them make their choice. But truth is not negotiable, because no matter how you cover your nakedness with fig leaves, it will definitely you are naked and you are naked. So there's no way you can hide from truth. You may run away from it, you may rub pancake on it, you may make over it, you may do all manner of things, but truth remains very constant. And you don't have to remember anything when you are telling the truth. You know, it's when you are lying that you try to fabricate and remember what you have said previously. But once you are on the side of truth, you don't need to bother yourself. And that's why I tell people, put everything on the table, because it saves you from untimely death. You know, living, when you are walking, you are looking over your shoulder to know. But when you are on the platform of truth, you don't need anything at all. Because when they wake you up in the night, any time of the day, you are saying the same thing.
Very true. The truth always pays. Well, I'll say that is not... the truth always pays, but in some situations it may seem like it doesn't, but don't let those situations deter you
But
the truth. I said that because
I know.
I'm relating it to being a Nigerian in Nigeria at this time.
Let me tell you something.
So, but what I'm saying is ultimately, because Yorubas have a saying that if you lie for 1,000 years, one day the truth will come out, and by the time the truth comes out, all the lies will be exposed, right?
Igbos have a say that ezoku bondo, truth is life. You see the attachment to it. Truth is life. That when you say the truth, you don't need to be afraid, because even the powers in the heavens and the earth will back you up.
All right. So do the right thing as you go out this morning. Tell the truth. Do the right thing. Let's get to the dailies and take a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the dailies in Nigeria this morning. There's so many headlines this morning, but we must start from this particular one that got many Nigerians talking yesterday, and it's not about the Electoral Act or anything that has to do with it. It's President Bola Tinubu's upcoming visit today to Adamawa, and Vice President Shettima's visit to Kano at the market fire. Now, the Singer market, this same market, was, I won't say set ablaze, because that's, probably means that someone sets ablaze. But yes, the Singer market was on fire about merely 2-3 weeks ago. And again, it was on fire, I believe, yesterday. And on Saturday evening, rather, and it raged into Sunday morning. And the president did, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, on behalf of the president, or he did release a statement that said, that the president conveyed his condolences and the usual, talk. And we hear that Vice President Kashim Shettima will today lead a federal government delegation to Kano following the weekend fire disaster. During the Kwara massacre, I like to call it a massacre.
It's a massacre.
We also saw the, the greater part of the involvement was also from the vice president, rather from, the president actually gracing the place with his actual presence. Now, over the weekend, President Bola Tinubu was at the Arugungu Fishing Festival, and he is also going to Adamawa to commission some projects. It seems as though, well, people on social media have said it, this is not my words, the president, has left active governance for other things.
Well, it didn't leave it today. It was a long time ago, you understand? And that's why Nigerians are deeply worried that it appears we are only interested in re-election rather than active governance. You understand? And don't forget that the president has traveled widely, just like his predecessor, President Muhammadu Buhari, in search of investment. And I have critically said it here on this platform that, look, the president should stay home and solve the problems at home before even talking of flying out to bring in investors, because investors will come on their own. You don't need to go to somebody's house to beg him to come and invest in your land. First of all, you look at your land and fix what needs to be fixed. The problem of insecurity, the problem of power. Now, the seat of power in Nigeria is going solar. We are budgeting billions or trillions to fix solar in the seat of power. So the people you are going to, and they see what you are doing in order to have power, do you think they will have the money to come down here to do business, bring in their solar or their generator or whatever? It doesn't work that way. So the most important thing is to sit down at home, solve the problem, the basic problem we have today, power, insecurity, and hunger. When those critical issues are addressed, then you can go out and somebody will listen to you and hear that, okay, if I come here, they have power, my investment will be secured. But when none of these things is addressed, how do you think the people will come? Now, concerning going to Adamawa for fishing, maybe president, maybe he has worked so hard and he wanted to relax by watching those who are catching fish in Arugungu.
Or maybe he used the opportunity to also see the Kwara State governor, who was at the event as well.
So Arugungu Festival may be a point of relaxation for him, and that was why he asked the vice to go to Kanu, and let's look at even these incessant fire outbreaks in Nigeria. We have addressed that thing on one of our platforms here, and many callers did provide solutions. Because in time past, Bola, if you remember when Nigeria was importing electrical materials from, I won't mention the country, we didn't have so much incidents of fire outbreak.
So are we pointing at inferior materials?
I'm coming, but the moment we started looking towards Asia, I won't mention the country also, when we started looking towards Asia, everything started burning down. Even our own wire here, I'm not an electrician, but I know that Nigerian cable is very strong. According to electricians that I've interacted with, they tell you that no, Nigerian cable is, but do we patronize it? Instead, we go to Asia and bring inferior materials. And that is why we are having incessant fire outbreaks here and there. You understand? So what is at the root cause of this thing is importation of inferior materials into the country. And you begin to wonder, what exactly is the work of Nigerian Standard Organization? What are they really doing? Who permitted, but Nigeria is just a bazaar. Anybody can do anything. Who authorized these things to be imported into Nigeria? Knowing full well the consequences on the people and the economy. And that's what we're reaping now. If you look holistically into the cause of this fire in Kanu, you will discover that inferior material is at the root cause, is at the root of it all. So there are so many things to address here. What the Nigerian Standard Organization, what are they doing? Inferior materials flooding everywhere. You buy torch today from these Asian countries. Just be lucky if you serve it for 3 weeks. You throw it away. Buy what do they call it again? Any of these gadgets. Before you say Jack Robinson is already over, you go and buy another one. Why are we being flooded? And they're even mulling the idea of removing tariff for goods coming into Africa, because they know that some of these things are highly substandard, and we still import them, and this is what is causing fire. I'm not saying that because I'm not, but I'm sure
it's a contributory
factor. Yes.
All right. Today, the Vice President Kashim Shettima will lead a federal government delegation to Kano following the weekend fire disaster at the Singa Market, and the delegation will be going there to convey the president's condolences to traders who lost billions of naira in the inferno. They said the fire caused extensive damage to the market, and it's the second time a fire will engulf the market within 2 weeks. Also, President Bola Tinubu will pay a one-day official visit to Adamawa State. He's scheduled to inaugurate major infrastructure projects, new buildings and renovated buildings as well, and also hold meetings with political leaders, traditional rulers, and other stakeholders. Obviously, this, comes as the state capital, Yola, witnessed a visible surge in the APC branding and renewed speculation over Governor Amadu Finteri's political future. Don't forget that the president also went to Kebbi State, where, as we said earlier, for the Arugungu Fishing Festival and probably some other things. But moving on, let's talk about other things this morning. This headline here says, ex-INEC chiefs demand real-time result transmission. Won't take this alone. We'll also link it to the fact that there's this headline on the Punch that says National Assembly may shift 2027 presidential poll to February 13. We'll start from the ex-INEC chiefs, the likes of former resident electoral commissioner Mike Igini, who has said that the decision facing lawmakers will shape the credibility of future elections and their own political survivals ahead of the 2027 elections. They're saying that loopholes allowing results alteration during manual collation had historically worked against sitting lawmakers who lost their party backings. Basically saying that whatever they decide, would determine what's going to happen to the lawmakers as well in the elections. Saying that mandatory real-time transmission will make the results publicly verifiable and deter tampering, to such that if the public does vote for a certain lawmaker, when there's real-time transmission, they will of course come in. Now, the National Assembly announced yesterday that it will reconvene its plenary session on Tuesday, cutting short its recess amidst indications that lawmakers may review the dates that is set for the 2027 presidential election. They said they may shift it to February 13, 2027. And you recall that when the INEC chairman, Professor Mukwiton, went to the Senate, the NAS, the General NAS, to give the budget and also speak on the date of the elections. The dates originally set for the elections, he had been queried as to the fact that it was overlapping with Ramadan, and now we're learning that it may be shifted. Now, the electoral laws themselves, my dear analysts, speak to when elections should hold without prejudice to any other events happening, without any other prejudice to any other events happening. So are we going to see a first here, changing the date of the presidential election specifically?
Well, let me start from what Igini said about the lawmakers not returning to the House. There are two views. The House of Rep endorsed real-time transmission of results from the polling unit to INEC REF. And without ambiguity, the Senate is speaking from both sides of the mouth, saying that, yes, e-transmission, but the presiding officers has the discretion. Has the discretion to decide whether to. You understand what I'm saying? So you have given a power to the presiding officers to decide whether to use e-transmission or not. And they are meeting maybe tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes.
In order to harmonize their views. And there's intense lobbying going on right now in Abuja for the House of Rep to abandon their views, which is which I don't know. I don't know how to explain this. Why are we afraid of transparency in our election? Why are we engaging in something that is inflicting deeper mistrust in our electoral process? What do they stand to gain if Nigerians shun? Because a lot of people have said that if there's no e-transmission, that they're not going to participate in the election. And when citizens turn their back on election or voting, what do you think will happen? So I think the will of the people must prevail. Nigerians and civil society organizations, opposition parties, and the generality of Nigerians prefer e-transmission, real-time e-transmission, because we understand what will happen if we are allowed to go manual. You go and begin to write the result. We know what happened in 2023. It is still very glaring to some of us that watched exactly what went on in that election year. And now we are still going to play, to dance to the same tune.
Let me cut in here to ask about the dates. We'll go on a break shortly.
Okay.
Does it impact anything? The electoral law that INEC is hinging on to is the paragraph 2 of the INEC regulations and guidelines for the conduct of election, which states without ambiguity that the election to the office of the president and vice president as well as National Assembly shall hold on the third Saturday of February of any general election year, while election to the office of governor and deputy governor and the state's houses of assembly shall hold 2 weeks thereafter. It's very, very clear. And looking at the dates for 2027, that puts it at February 20. However, due to the clash, I guess, yes, it may be moved up to February 13. Do you think that's going to have any effects on the outcome?
I don't think it is going to have any effect. Those who are saying that I respect people's religious sensibilities. If there is need for it to be shifted, but I don't think voting on Ramadan will even have any effect. You understand? And some people are even saying that being a holy month for Muslims, that
they shouldn't be voting.
No, that some people will even be very, very upright in not participating in any shady thing But I see that as a very pedestal. As
All right, we'll take a short break now. When we come back, Perspectives Unlimited will continue. And what's more, you, our dear listener, will also be able to be a part of the conversation by calling the studio lines. Don't go anywhere. Please stay with us.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour. I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data. Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service. One Data? Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafin Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oloyede Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on this website: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alaafin Avenue, Oloyede Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903-936-8185. Call Toby on 0803-509-3395. 894 Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
Hey! I dey miss my language oh.
How you go miss your language when na im dem dey speak for Wazobia platform wey dey shele for Wells Radio 89.3 FM?
Haba, Wazobia platform na your program from Wells Radio 89.3 FM wey dey speak Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa plus including Pidgin, and na every Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays you go hear am.
Na from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m.
Advertise for Wazobia platform. Everybody go hear am for every corner for your state and beyond.
Wazobia platform na people's program.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go! Hey there! Want to stay connected to your favorite radio station? Follow us on social media for the latest updates, entertaining wholesome content, and behind-the-scene peaks. We're on Instagram at Wells Radio 893, Facebook Wells Radio 893 FM fan page, X Wells Radio 893. Follow our WhatsApp channel Wells Radio 89.3 FM. Get a scoop on upcoming shows, giveaways, and events. Also get to interact with your favorite presenters and share your thoughts on our posts and stories. Join the conversation and stay tuned into Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. You're welcome back. It's still Perspectives Unlimited, and we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Over the weekend, there was a bit of drama going on with the former Kaduna State Governor, El-Rufai. And now it has, moved on, where he is accused, the NSA, of importing some poisonous substance. Now, this headline on The Punch says, Presidency tackles El-Rufai over NSA poison procurement claim. It says a former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, has asked the Office of the National Security Advisor to clarify what he described as information available to opposition figures regarding the alleged procurement of a toxic chemical substance. In a letter dated January 30, 2026, and addressed to the National Security Advisor in Abuja, El-Rufai said he was seeking clarification and reassurance over reports that the office planned to obtain thallium sulfate from abroad. He posted a copy of the letter on his official X handle on Sunday. The presidency, however, has tackled the former governor, adding that he knew there was no government procurement or importation of thallium sulfate into Nigeria from Poland through the office of the National Security Advisor. The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Temitope Ajayi, claimed on behalf of the presidency that El-Rufai certainly got a reply to his letter from the NSA's office, asking him to be honorable enough to release the reply, just as he mischievously released the letter. El-Rufai, Malam Nasser El-Rufai, has in the past few days or past few months, especially upon joining ADC, has been consistently, how do I say it, on the necks of the APC-led administration. And things got to a head when on Thursday he said he had a premonition that he would be arrested, and on Friday security forces did indeed try to arrest him, and that didn't work out, and on like that. Do you think that this is a person, being a former APC member, do you think that this person, in person of Nasser El-Rufai, probably has some APC secrets or government secrets up his sleeves and is willing to damn it all and, put it all out there?
You see, Bola, the question is not whether Malam Nasser El-Rufai has anything, any secret concerning the ruling party. He was part of the ruling party. He was part of those who brought Bola Ahmed Tinubu into power. He was part of the system. He was everything in that system. And let's look at thallium sulfate. He allegedly said, he alleged that Ribadu imported. This thing is, they say, is water soluble and highly toxic to humans. And it has been used in time past, but has been banned by many countries because of its because it's highly toxic to humans and because of its non-selective nature. Now the question is, was the dangerous chemical truly imported into the country, and for what purpose? Is the National Security Advisor a chemist? What is he doing with such highly toxic substance, largely banned by many countries? Very, very toxic to humans and because of its non-selective nature. So what are they doing? The presidency has not been able to tell Nigerians, was it imported? They are just attacking the man. Tell Nigerians the honest truth. Was this thing imported into the country, and for what purpose? Nobody has said anything about it. Nuhu Ribadu himself, at the center of it all, has not spoken. So the onus is on the presidency and the NSA to tell Nigerians whether El-Rufai was lying or not. This toxic substance is the office of National Security Advisor planning to fumigate their office, because this thing is rodent side and insect side, but it's highly toxic to humans. Are they planning to fumigate their offices? Is NAFDAC in the know? Why is the security advisor, what is he doing with toxics? There are so many questions, because we know the extent by which poisons have been used in so many countries, like the one in Russia, Navalny, the man that was at the neck of Putin. The EU and other countries are saying that he was poisoned through frog poison. I've forgotten the chemical, the name they gave it. So what is the presidency has not been able to address whether this thing was actually imported or not.
Well, they did say that a response, a reply was actually sent back to El-Rufai, that he should also upload. I believe it's possible that the reply, has the answers to our questions.
Okay, so what's the reply?
We don't know. We will wait for Nasser El-Rufai to probably also upload it.
Ebola, the issue is that Nigerians are aware of this thing right now. It's a very touchy issue, and it must not be swept under the carpet. The Nigerians must be told Nigerians must be in the know. Is it true that this toxic poison was imported or not, and by who, and for what purpose? It is not enough to issue a blanket statement and labeling as a loser, as we normally used to hear. Tell us the truth. What is the NSA doing with toxic substances? You understand? So it's not, Nigerians are still waiting to know actually who imported this thing, if it was actually imported or not.
All right, you can be a part of the conversation this morning by calling us. The phone lines are open: 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-333-3893. Be a part of the conversation. Let's have your comments this morning. The NLC alleges that the federal government is planning to settle the boys with 3 trillion naira electricity subsidy. Now, the NLC, that's the Nigeria Labour Congress, has questioned the rationale behind the federal government's purported plan to pay between 2 trillion naira and 3 trillion naira to electricity generating companies, GENCOs, alleging that the electricity subsidy remained a phantom move to settle the boys as the 2027 elections approach. It said the privatization of the power sector has thrown more Nigerians into darkness and widened the energy poverty in 10 years. Meanwhile, sparks flew at the Senate Committee on Finance as lawmakers openly confronted the management of the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC, NBET, over what they described as outrageous electricity billing practices and systemic unfairness in the power sector. NLC President Joe Ajero at the National Union of Electricity Employees NUI yearly conference insisted that there was no justification for such a massive bailout to private firms that have failed to deliver. Electricity in Nigeria has been privatized. We have the DISCOs, we have the GENCOs, we have the NERC, and so on and so forth. And yet, we haven't found a solution.
We will not find solution as far as we have not addressed the corruption. You understand? The bailout, Nigeria got it wrong from the onset when we went into privatization. And it was not transparently done. You handed over such a critical infrastructure to people who don't have the expertise to carry it through. And the country is still subsidizing. And we are still paying money after individuals have collected this from the government. Where is it done? Only in Nigeria. There was a state in America, I think it's California. They did the same thing. When they discovered that the people who took over were messing up the whole thing, they collected it back because they care for the citizens. Here we still left it in the hand of private investors, and is a conduit pipe to be collecting money from the state. And yet we are giving them a bailout for what they are supposed to. What are they providing? There are so many communities in Nigeria today where you don't have power. And yet, we are planning to give them bailout in trillions, just to appease some people, all in the name of. In fact, Ebola.
Let's not forget, of course, that both the DISCOs and the GENCOs have at different times accused the federal government. It's not it's not a fully private arrangement. It's a public-private partnership. They've said that the federal government has also failed to put in its own input, which is what we also saw with the Dangote refinery.
Okay, why is the federal government not put, after we have removed the fuel subsidy, we have a lot of money. The money we are giving to governors, the governors have come out to tell Nigerians that they are receiving thrice more than what they've been receiving. What are we doing with the proceeds of oil subsidy removal? That's the question. Corruption. We are using it for something that will not impact on the people. Now, Bola, you see, when we talk of, when we bring up this kind of issues, it bothers me a lot, and a lot of well-meaning Nigerians, because we don't seem to be eager to come out of our problem. We create more and more on daily basis. Why? What is the need for the bailout? 3 trillion to give out just like that. If you use that 3 trillion, do you know what is okay?
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. Your name and where you're calling from?
This is Adedamola from Muslim.
Good morning, Aderonke. Let's have your contribution.
Thank you. Concerning the transition electoral result, So I think the director, we people are the one representing, and we time transmission. Why the Akpabio, the Senate president, they don't want it. So we the people, we are the ones that power belongs to. So all what we want is a free and fair election, where we will choose our leaders by ourselves and not by leaders. So they should make this thing compulsory. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Make the e-transmission compulsory. Thank you so much, Aderonke. The phone lines are still open: 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning.
Look at what we have done. Last week, the CEO of NNPC, Bayo Ojulari, he came out to tell Nigerians that the country should stop living in deception. That Nigeria has spent trillions in refinery and yet they are not working. At Jokuta, the same thing.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, the beautiful radio woman.
Good morning to you, sir.
This is Mario calling from Apata.
You're welcome, Mr.
We no go green. We no go green. The Bible must answer. We no go green. I think those allegations levied against Ribadu, because I outside them allegation in code of what Elifai was saying about Ribadu. You don't have to just let it slide like that, because they are saying in Yoruba that Ojogate Kojogati, the thing is, it's nearly similar. It's nearly somehow similar to them to one another, because look at what is going on in the country. Elifai is alleging what's going now, Ribadu, that he has brought in some chemical into the country, in which we don't know how true it is. And I would urge the federal government and those in charge to try and scrutinize and check and fact check if what Elifai has said is true. Because it's dangerous, it's inimical to Nigeria, to our country, if that could be found true. Let's not take it let's not let it slide just like that. And all those allegations that Elifai has said, he also said that he also alleged that Ribadu, that is I've forgotten the word now. But the point I want to make is this: we also learned that the phone call of the NSA and the team were being tapped into. And the question is, if the phone of NSA could be tapped, because that line is so sinister, it must be monitored. Even if it has nothing to be, it doesn't have to be hacked or to be tapped in. So if that should be hacked or tapped into by some few individuals, then that means insecurity in this country will still linger on, because people will have access to the tapping into the line of the NSA. So I think we have lapses and lacuna in that area, which must be corrected and must not be allowed to slide just like that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mari, for your contribution this morning. I'd like us to quickly take a look at a particular story, if you don't mind.
Okay.
And the headline says, insecurity, lawmakers split over Ndume's support for U.S. troops deployment. Now, the two members of the House of Representatives have expressed differing views on Senator Ali Ndume's recent call for the deployment of United States troops to Nigeria amidst worsening insecurity in the Northeast. Speaking on Friday, Ndume had endorsed the deployment of U.S. soldiers to Borno State, which we have now heard about, to assist in combating insurgency and banditry. He said the fact that the Americans are now helping us fight insurgency is a welcome development. We have been looking for this support for a long time and have made many efforts to get it, but have failed. Now that we have this window of opportunity, we must utilize it. I have complained many times that our major setback in this fight is a lack of certain resources. Now America has agreed to provide those resources free of charge. We heard that the U.S. Army has set up a base in Borno State. But looking at the timeline of when this whole thing started, the one okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio. All right, ma. My name is Salami. I'm calling from Awatan. Good morning, Mr. Chukwemeka.
Yeah, good morning, Salami.
You see, for me, all right, my brother, you see, for me, honestly speaking, on issue of electricity, our Nigerian leaders have decided they decided it not to work, and that is why posterity, a lot of them will have questions to answer posterity. Honestly speaking, we got it wrong when Obasanjo decided to use his fiat power to privatize NEPA that time. tell me, NEPA, I can tell you now that Nigeria is spending times 10. We were spending to maintain NEPA at a reduced electricity rate than what they are spending on their discourse and things that they brought into their corrupt practices to their cronies and what have you. Now we are paying for it. We are paying much more for less. More money, more darkness. So may God help Nigeria. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for your contribution, sir. Now, I'd like to get your thoughts, right, on, the efficacy. How efficient now?
Will it be?
Has it been?
Okay.
There was one attack on in December of last year from the U.S. government. There was one attack, and then it's been crickets since then. We've not heard, anything. They may be gathering intelligence or whatever, but we haven't seen any tangible results, I will say.
Okay. Are you talking in terms of their
I'm
presence
talking about
in
the
Nigeria?
U.S., yes, their presence and their involvement in the fight against terrorism.
There is something that Ndume said here that is not true. He said because we lack the resources to fight insurgency, it is a lie. We have all the resources.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ruth calling from Alakia.
Good morning, Ruth. You're welcome.
Yeah. Only as regards the issue of insecurity, if seeking support from the U.S. military will help restore peace, then the option should be considered. Because what matters most is that these menace must stop. Because this killing today, kidnapping tomorrow, or must end. So, and the government and the center should also approve and empower state policing so that security challenges can be addressed more effectively. So we can't continue like this. Good morning.
Thank you so much.
You see, Bola, we don't lack the resources. What we lack is the way to fight insurgency. A country that is negotiating with terrorists, we have the country that is crawling with terrorism sympathizers cannot fight terrorism. And look, let me tell you, Americans will fail. You know why they will fail? They will never get the cooperation of the people within that environment. Because many of them are sympathizing with these terrorists. So you cannot come to a country and say you want to help them to solve their problem when most of them are benefiting from the problem. How do you think you will solve it? I just pity Americans.
So you're saying that as a country, Nigeria is not fully ready.
We are not ready. We are not ready to address our problem. We are not ready. We are deceiving ourselves. Americans have just come in and they are going to go back that way. And watch, this thing will escalate because you cannot fight a problem when people on the ground are even sympathizing with those who are creating the problem. So how do you hope to succeed? You won't succeed. So those who are, many people now have gone to their individual homes of silence. They are not talking. Americans, when they get that information or intelligence, who are they going to share it with? They don't even trust our soldiers. Honestly speaking, don't forget they came the first time, I think it was during Buhari, they didn't share some intelligence with our military.
They carried out the operation.
Yes, alone, and they went away. So do you think now that things have changed? It has not changed. It's still the same thing. They are not going to succeed. Not that they don't want to succeed. They want to succeed, but we are not going to cooperate with them to succeed because we have a lot of people that are sympathizing with what is going on. It's an industry, Bola. If you stop that industry, a lot of people they will no longer as benefit. Why is it that the government will procure arms and yet the thing will disappear? Nobody has been prosecuted.
All right, we have a couple of comments on our Facebook page. Sulaiman Sheriff says, good morning and kudos to everyone in the studio. It is not every military information that should appear on media for public consumption. What is being suggested in many quarters now is that the salaries of our soldiers should be doubled to boost their morale in view of what they are passing through in the hands of terrorists in this country. Adedamola says, of a truth, Nigerians need to fight to deliver Nigeria from all the countries going through at the moment. As rightly said by Peter Obi, the only way to get this done is by getting our voters card and vote in candidates with integrity come 2027. And I think that's a fine place to leave it at. Yes. Get your voters card and exercise your rights.
And don't give out your information on your PVC. When people will tell you, can you send me information on your PVC, your BVN, your NIN, your account number? Don't give it out because they are harvesting votes. They are harvesting PVC right now. If they have not approached you, just be on the watch out. Somebody will approach you. Don't ever give out these things.
All right. He who has ears, let him hear. That's how we wrap up Perspectives Unlimited this morning. A very big thank you to our analyst, Mr. Chukwemeka Munachiso, and to everyone who called. We do appreciate you. Don't go away. It's time for sports with Deliri. My name is Bolanli Uduekun Ayola. Good morning to you, and God bless you. To this important information, the views expressed by the interviewee in this program are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Wells Radio 89.3 FM or its affiliated entities. Wells Radio 89.3 FM is committed to providing a platform for diverse perspectives and opinions, and the views expressed by guests on our programs are their personal viewpoints. Wells Radio 89.3 FM does not endorse or take responsibility for the content or opinions expressed by individual interviewees and callers. Thank you.